What do you think is the meaning of life on Earth? What is the meaning of our human intelligent life?
Well, I think it's very clear that we have an evolutionary story that is only getting challenged around the edges. We have a very clear understanding of the evolution of life, and the meaning is, we are here as a consequence of materialistic processes that began, in our sense, with the establishment of the Earth 4.5 billion years ago, whatever it was, and then water and oxygen and so on. We are the astonishing consequence of the evolution of cells and multicellular organisms. The word random is the wrong word to use unless you understand what it means. It didn't happen by chance, but a lot of random events had to happen to make this possible. Mm-hmm. And those random events, of course, are the production of appropriate mutations. But the meaning of life is there is no meaning. The really big mystery of life is, why is there a universe?
And that same why propagates itself through the whole of it, through the whole process of it, for the emergence of planets, the emergence, first of all, of galaxies, of star systems, of planets, of the proteins required to construct the single-cell organisms, and the single-cell organism becoming complex organisms, and some of the clever fish crawling out onto the land, and the whole of it. And then there's fire. Some clever guy or lady invented fire, and then now here we are. It just does seem, speaking as a human, kind of special that we're able to reflect on the whole thing. Or the whole
wonderful story. It's so much more interesting than the stories produced by religion.
Yeah, it is. It is beautiful, but it just seems special that us humans are able to, including write religions and construct stories.
Yeah,
and also do science. That seems kind of amazing. It seems like the universe is such that it creates beings like us that are able to investigate it. and that's why there's this longing for a why. That's just that's such a beautiful little pocket of complexity created by the universe. It seems like there should be a why, but maybe there's just an infinite number of universes, and this is the one that led to this particular set of humans.
Even without an infinite number of universes, I bet there's an infinite number of intelligent beings
throughout this universe.
Yeah. Now that we know how many planets have the right sort of conditions, which is what, I can't remember, a lot, it's some significant percentage of all planets, then there are apparently billions of planets. And things happen so quickly on Earth. Once you got water, then you got life. And it did not take long for life to evolve in the big scheme of things.
And if you look out there, say there's a nearly infinite number of intelligent civilizations, one dimension you could look at is the proclivity to violence they have. And it's interesting to think what level of violence is useful for extending the life of a civilization. So we have a particular set of violence in our history. Maybe being too peaceful is a problem in the early days. Maybe being too violent, quite obviously, is a problem. So you look at viruses. What kind of viruses on Earth propagate and succeed? If you're too deadly, that's a big problem. If you're not deadly enough, that's also a problem. So that is a fascinating exploration of...
I don't see any evidence. I don't see where you're coming from when you say that being too peaceful is a problem.
Well, because... So I'll say it this way. Death is a way to get rid of suboptimal solutions. So violence...
But there's lots of ways to die without violence.
Right. To me, death in itself is violence. And you can, I mean, a lot of people that talk about, for example, longevity and disease and all that kind of stuff, they see death is this is the way they talk about it. And it's interesting to philosophically think of it that way. It's just, death is, it's like mass murder that's happening. And it's like people that try to, from a biological perspective, help extend life, they see that you're helping the biggest atrocity in the history of human civilization from their perspective is not allocating all our resources to solving death, right? Because death is a kind of violence. It is a kind of murder that we're allowing to be committed on us by nature. And so the flip side of that is death makes way for new life, for new ideas. And so that's...
Yes, but that's got nothing to do with peace versus war. You know, I mean, you have animals that are very, very peaceful, but they evolve just in the same way as other animals do. They just don't do it with death caused by violence. And violent death is premature death, surely. I mean, you know, I don't mind about people dying. You know, what I mind about is people dying in their youth, middle
prematurely.
age.
But
Exactly.
some people would say
Right.
all death is premature. It certainly feels that way. It's died too soon. Anyone who's ever died too soon.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we can become like sequoias, you know, and live for hundreds of years and thousands of years, that would be great.
Do you ponder your own mortality? Are you afraid of death?
I don't think I'm afraid of it. You know, I'm reconciled to the fact it's going to happen. I just feel frustrated because I enjoy life, you know, and I don't want to leave the party.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun party. I don't want to leave the party either. So however we got here, we made one heck of an awesome party. And you're right. Having a party with a little bit less violence in it is an even more fun party. Richard, I'm deeply honored that you spent time with me today. Your work is amazing. It includes some of the deepest thinking about our human history and the nature of human civilization. So again, thank you so much for talking today. It's an honor.
Oh, thanks for your great questions. It was a really fun conversation.